The Funkin for Bikini Bottom Volume 1 mod just dropped, and in this video I want to go over each of the characters that we see in this mod and tell you what movie or episode that they actually come from, while also explaining their backgrounds in general. Let's go ahead and start off with the robotic version of Sandy. Now, Robo Sandy is actually the first robot boss that you fight in a video game titled Battle for Bikini Bottom, and I think it's pretty obvious to tell that she's modeled after Sandy Cheeks. This robot basically takes over Poseidon Causoleum, prompting King Neptune to summon SpongeBob and Patrick to fight against her. Even though we don't see it in the Friday Night Funkin' mod, in the actual game, SpongeBob and Patrick have to switch off in order to defeat her through her 3 different phases. One thing that I really like that the developers did in this mod is that they made it look like boyfriend and girlfriend actually belong under the sea. Girlfriend seems to be some type of mermaid in the mod, while boyfriend seems to be like a water elemental of some sort. I love when developers add small details like that instead of just leaving them in their regular forms and making people wonder like, what are they doing underwater? The next song on here is called On Ice, and this one is basically from a old April Fool's episode of SpongeBob. Basically, this fish dude asked for a couple of cubes of ice in his drink, and SpongeBob brought him 1 ice cube. While the guy was drinking it, SpongeBob kept trying to hold in his giggles, but he wasn't able to do so the guy started getting suspicious. Obviously, he thought that SpongeBob did something bad to his drink, but when SpongeBob actually reveals what it is, he starts to laugh and giggle and really start to let it out. Even though this seems kind of goofy, when you think about like how good-natured of a character SpongeBob is, I guess this would kind of seem like a real trick to him, right? Giving somebody 1 ice cube when they ask for 2. I guess in a way it kind of reflects how innocent of a character he is. The next character on our list is actually one that I remember from when I was a kid, and it's called Doodlebob, and he was basically the main antagonist in an episode called Franken-Doodle. He also appeared in another episode called Doodle Dimension and in a Nintendo DS game called Drawn to Life SpongeBob SquarePants Edition. He's basically a crudely drawn version of SpongeBob that actually comes to life. And you remember how I described SpongeBob as being very innocent? The Doodle is the opposite of that. He is very malicious and kind of mischievous. A couple of fun facts about this version of SpongeBob is that he doesn't actually speak English, but instead he speaks this type of gibberish. Something else that I find interesting about this character is that he was actually brought to life by a magic pencil. I think he's actually using that here in the mod. And something that's kind of scary about this pencil, if I remember correctly, is that he can actually use it to erase people. Now, there's actually a lot going on in this song here because most of the characters in this scene are all from the SpongeBob movie back in 2004. Funny thing is, some of you watching this probably weren't even born when this movie came out because I was a kid. Now, the first thing that you may notice is that Squidward and King Neptune both have these buckets on their head, and you also see some of the fish in the background with that same bucket that says CB on it. This is actually because in the movie, Plankton actually took control of these people, and that's why these buckets are on their head, because it stands for the chum bucket. Now in the movie, we see that SpongeBob like starts to sing this rock and roll ballad and he has these weird glasses on. And you may be wondering why Patrick is in the back with fishnets on. That's also from the movie. When SpongeBob is singing, Patrick is literally dancing like he's some type of groupie girl. And at one point, he even hits the splits for some reason. Later on in the mod here, we see SpongeBob take on this form of like a rock and roll wizard. And this is also directly from the movie. When he takes on this form, he basically starts shredding the guitar. And through the power of rock and roll, I guess, he's able to break all the buckets on people's heads and bring them back to sanity. And low key, his solo was actually pretty dope. I don't want to get a copyright strike, so I'm not going to play it here. But I will put the link down in the description. You should check it out if you have the time. Next up on our list, we have Gangster Spongebob, and this one isn't actually from an animation or a show that I know of. I think this is just from the community making artwork of SpongeBob as a gangster or a thug. Artwork like this was really popular back in like 2018 all the way up until about 2020. I'm sure people still make it, but that's when it was like in its heyday. The next character that we see in the mod is called Robo Squidward, or also known as Squid Vicious. I believe this character made his first appearance in the Game Boy Advance version of Battle for Bikini Bottom, and then he disappeared and was scrapped all the way up until they came out with the Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video where I go over some SpongeBob creepypastas, or check out this one where I talk about some SpongeBob parodies. Thanks for watching. This is Orseofkorse. Peace.